Voters in Tazewell County will see something different when they go to the polls in November. As Gianna Zhao shows us, the Tazewell County Clerk's Office will have police present in the name of voter safety.
The 2024 election is 92 days away, and the Tazewell County Clerk is preparing for voter safety by having a police presence for any type of an emergency. John Ackerman says the county has had police at the polls for a decade, but this year they will have an extra officer at the polls.
And individuals can feel the need to have physical harm at those locations. We do everything we can to mitigate that risk. We do everything we can to be prepared for an incident should it occur.
The Tazewell County Clerk's Office is part of the statewide Cyber Navigator program. They get notified by the FBI, Homeland Security, and other agencies about threats and other issues that may arise. During the last election, Ackerman says the program alerted them 2 weeks before Election Day about fentanyl being mailed to election offices in Washington and Georgia.
That has really been a beneficial aspect to be able to see what's taking place not just in Illinois, but taking place or expected to take place throughout the nation.
He says a lot of different situations can occur with the constant rhetoric with the election, but they want to make sure voters can vote in peace.
There's a lot of different scenarios that we plan for just to be prepared. With rhetoric this year the way it is already, with any presidential election, the rhetoric gets ramped up, tempers can flare.
He also says historically, this isn't the first time the country has faced election rhetoric.
Those kind of threats have existed previously. We've gone through it as a nation. We've always made sure that elections are free, open, and accessible.
He encourages everyone to vote this election day. In Tazewell County, Gianna Zhao, 25 News.